the various CEOs of the sagas in the Ministry of Education. We have the representatives of the unions and associations, representatives of the National Parents Association. We have our media fraternity, and ladies and gentlemen, please feel most welcome for this occasion of the release of the 2020 Kcpe examination results. At this point, wish to hand over to Dr. Julius Juan to take over this program. I'll come back towards the tail end of this particular program.
The Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Professor George Magoha, the Principal Secretaries present here, Principal Secretaries, the Chairman of the Educational Committee, we have the CEO Teacher Service Commission, our Chairman John Onsaton in absentia, Kenya Council members present, the Director General Minister of Education, Mr. Elias Abdi, directors from the Ministry of Education, regional coordinators of education, representatives of educational institutions. Sorry, I omitted our chief administrative secretaries, my apologies. Representative of stakeholder institutions, the media fraternity, my colleagues from the Kenya National Examination Council, our esteemed guests, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the Kenya National, welcome you to the release of the 2020 Kcpe results. This event is traditionally held at the climax of series of activities on Kenya National Examination calendar. The administration of the 2020 Kcpe examination was a unique one. It came at a time the world was facing a global pandemic. Our school calendar was disrupted by many months as the government made efforts to mitigate against the pandemic. By the time we administered the examination, it was under strict social distancing and hygiene protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the difficulties of the pandemic, I'm happy to note that we witnessed unprecedented commitment from all parties involved. Our contracted professionals, the supervisors, invigilators, security personnel, and center managers manifested deep commitment. I wish to thank all the agencies who assisted the Kenya National Examination Council in various ways. I thank the agencies who provided NEC with vehicles and personnel to boost our monitoring efforts. I thank the Minister of Education for coordination of travel for Kcpe examiners back to their homes using school buses from various centers. In the 2020 Kcpe, a total of 1,179,192 candidates sat the examinations in 28,460 examination centers countrywide. They were examined in 7 subjects, tested in 9 papers. The Kcpe examination papers were administered in 3 days, from Monday 22nd to Wednesday 24th March 2021, during which NEC engaged services of approximately 199,639 contracted professionals. NEC has partnered with various agencies to ensure the administration of 2020 Kcpe was done in strict adherence to the regulations. The objective papers of Kcpe were received and machine marked over a period of 9 days. The English composition and Kiswahili transcripts were marked in 10 days by a total of 4,755 examiners accommodated in 18 marking centers. In conclusion, sir, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the members of the public and the parents for their role in promoting a conducive environment for the candidates. I commend all the candidates for presenting themselves for examination and conducting themselves in a calm and disciplined manner. I wish them well as they transit to secondary school. Let me take this note to say that we highly appreciate all teachers for their hard work commitment as they did to prepare the learners over the 8 years period. And I wish to thank you all, and may God bless all of you mightily. Now let me take this opportunity to welcome the PS Minister of Education, State Department of Basic Education and Early Learning, Dr. Juan, to take over the program. Thank you.
Is Madam Saina talking? Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mercy, the CEO, to our CS, our Chief Administrative Secretaries who are present, the CEO TSC, my colleague PSS, the board members, the council members of NEC, all protocols observed. We have with us the leadership of parliamentary committee in charge of education. Mine is very simple. 2 remarks to make. One is to thank everybody. We can't thank everybody who participated in this enough. I know each person who speaks will definitely have a message for them. It is extremely difficult conducting exams within what we call the language I got this morning, a disrupted world. A disrupted world order, yet with the support of everybody, the multi-agency and everybody, we managed to go through this peacefully, and here we are ready to release the results. The second one is basically to wish the young learners a bright future. I know it will be mentioned by the CS, but to mention very clearly once more that all parents, all guardians, and all of us should be prepared to make sure that all the learners who are going to receive the results move to the next level. Now, our CS, before I invite you to release the results, allow me just briefly to invite the chair of the Education Committee, the Honorable Florence Mutua, just to make a few remarks, after which I will invite the COTSC to make her remarks, and then the CS will come on to release the results. Honorable Mutua, please. Karibu.
Thank you, PS John, Professor Magoa, our CS, our TSC representative, Madam Nancy, the CEO for NEC, and all the members who are present today. I'm here with one member from my committee, Honorable Sosion. We have come together to be with the CS when he's releasing the results. I just want to say one thing and congratulate the Ministry for Education, led by our CS Magoha, for the good work he has done. He's been very diligent. He's been running up and down in this country to ensure that we don't lose the school calendar, and he has done very well. So I really want to applaud him for the work he has done by ensuring that our children don't miss their exams. And he's still here now coming to release the results because of the job that his ministry under him has been able to do. Us as the Education Committee will continue working with them hand in hand to ensure that the ministry runs as it should. I don't have much to say. I just want to thank the ministry for the work they have done, and I'm proud to be here today when the results are being released. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mtua. I didn't mention Honorable Sosion under the unions because I presume he's here in two capacities. As a member of the Education Committee, we also have our associations. We have the heads associations here. Even if I don't mention you all, just know we appreciate the role that you played. It is now my pleasure to invite the COTSE to make her remarks. Then we move on from there. Thank you very much.
Our CS, Professor Magoha, Honorable Mutua, all the CSs present, the PSs, the NEC Council and CEO, senior officers in the education sector, representatives of the unions present, heads association, esteemed stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I start by thanking God for enabling us to be here today to celebrate the work of 1.2 million learners after 8 years of their primary school education. While I congratulate the Kcpe class of 2020, I wish on behalf of the Teachers Service Commission to acknowledge and thank all the 608 primary school teachers who prepared these candidates for the examinations. Clearly, this was a daunting task given the fact that the preparations took place at a time our country was battling with COVID-19 effects. I therefore most sincerely thank all the teachers, including those who took part in invigilation, supervision and marking for their high level of commitment that has enabled us to deliver a credible national Kcpe examination in 2020. Thank you all immensely, and we appreciate you all for your first-class service. I can assure the country that we have no intention of punishing any teacher who goes beyond the call of duty to help our learners. Some center managers, for example, wake up very early in the morning to ensure that they are at the containers on time to pick up scripts and later return the parcels to the container each day. You may have read in the papers about the case of one incredible teacher in Narok County who walks long distances daily. We celebrate such teachers and urge them to keep up with their good job. The TSC will reward all teachers who perform exemplary well in their duties, and especially in recording improved performance in national examinations, which includes Kcpe. When we get the list from NEC, we shall recognize and reward such teachers, including those who have gone beyond the call of duty to deliver credible examinations. The 2020 Kcpe exercise involved 28,467 center managers, 28,711 supervisors, 72,360 invigilators, and 4,756 examiners. Many of the latter, that is the examiners, came to the marking centers immediately after invigilating the same Kcpe examinations. What this means, therefore, was that the majority of them did not find the opportunity to get vaccinated soon after the government graciously made teachers a priority population in the vaccination drive. I commend all the 92,246 teachers who by yesterday had taken the jab, and I know this figure will rise as we go. Today, and this is good news for all teachers, His Excellency the President has allowed us to ensure that all teachers will be allowed to take the COVID-19 vaccine irrespective of their age. And so I'm appealing to all teachers, irrespective of their age, to go and take this vaccine. I know when we began, we had talked about 50 years and above. today the head of state graciously again allowed us now to have all teachers vaccinated going forward. And we are appealing to all teachers, therefore, to ensure that they get this jab even as we open the schools. Overall, we call on teachers, like all other Kenyans, to adhere to the Ministry of Health COVID-19 measures. As you are aware, the TSC has done everything possible to protect its teachers from the effects of COVID-19. First, we instructed our medical health insurance provider to cover all teachers against COVID-19 related ailments, which they have since complied with. Second, we allowed all our 15,000 teachers aged 58 years and above to work from home. Although the majority of them, keen to help our learners who had lost a lot of a lot of class time, volunteered to attend to their normal duties. And despite all these efforts, we still have lost 15 teachers. We have, and I'm just talking about the primary subsector. We have lost 15 teachers. We have lost 3 deputy head teachers, and we have lost 8 head teachers to the pandemic. And we are saying we don't even want to lose one teacher, and we empathize with them and their families. And therefore, I passionately urge all the teachers to adopt the twin remedies of complying with all COVID-19 measures and also get vaccinated as the best way of preempting further negative effects of the pandemic. We ask teachers, therefore, to refer to the list of the 622 COVID-19 vaccine centers on the TSC website for ease of reference. Some of the accredited providers by MOH are in the teachers' medical scheme, making it easier once again for teachers. And this is something we have tried to emphasize from the beginning because we want to have healthy teachers in class. We will continue to work with the MOH to ensure that all the teachers are safe and sound as they get to the classes. I wish to appeal and encourage examiners who will be traveling for the marking exercise of the Kcpe next week to ensure that they are vaccinated before their travel to the city and its environs. But in conclusion, I wish once again to thank all the teachers for their enormous contribution and sacrifice in preparing the candidates under very challenging COVID-19 pandemic period and working at the very, very difficult and strange times that we are going through. As a commission, we are very proud of our teachers, and indeed, we will always be there, and we urge them to work even more as we forge forward to ensure that our learners are safe and that we also propel the country forward. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Madam Nancy. Indeed, I must admit that our teachers have done a tremendous job, as I said, within the context of a disrupted world. And to add to that, I want to assure everybody that we are making all arrangements to ensure that the teachers who will be coming to mark KCSE, all the way from the chief examiners to the team leaders, to the ordinary examiners, arrangements have been made to make sure that they find their way to the marking centers safely. And as Madam Nancy has said, we encourage them to take the vaccine before they get here. Now, allow me, before I invite the CS, to introduce the board members, the council members of NEC who have spent sleepless nights to ensure that this exam is a success. The chair is not in, and so I will do this on his behalf. We have Madam Rosemary Saina, who has been standing in for the chair. We have Colonel Owambo, we call him Colonel, in charge of all our security and logistics. We have Mr. Martin Okio, who is also a council member. We have Dr. Spotter, a council member. We have Professor Gur, a council member. We have Professor Ngondo, a council member. We have Mr. Kugeri, who is not here. Then we have Mr. Rotere. Mr. Rotere is around. We have Madam Gaturu, who is also not here with us, but with us in spirit. We have Madam Nancy, who has just talked. Then we have Madam Mercy, who is the CEO and Secretary to the Council, and myself as the PS in charge. Allow me also to mention that of our Chief Administrative Secretaries, we have Mr. Noor, just in case some don't know him. Then we have Madam Momina, just in case. Then the PSS with us, we have Mr. Cheriot, he's right there, and Dr. Mwakima, who is also here with us. I don't have to introduce everybody, but I would be unfair if we don't pay tribute to the NEC technical staff, the technical staff from the Ministry of Education, for the dedication that they have shown in the process of Kcpe examinations and currently the ongoing KCSE examinations. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege and pleasure to invite our Cabinet Secretary, Professor Magoha, to come and make his remarks and thereafter proceed to release the 2020 Kcpe results. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
The media people ensured that I will stand here in the sun. Fanya hapa, pana cheza na hiki kitu. Chief Administrative Secretary Officers, Dr. Sarah Ruto, who is in the field, Momina Bonaya, who is here with us, Hassan Nur Hassan, who is here with us, Honorable Florence Mutua, Chair of the Education Committee, and Honorable Sosion in his capacity as the member of the Education Committee, although he wears another hat. Principal Secretaries, Dr. Julius Juan, Margaret Mwakima, and Alfred Cheriot, Chairperson of the Kenya National Examination Council, Dr. Ansati, who is indisposed, Chief Executive Officer of the Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Njeri Macharia, Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya National Examination Council, Dr. Mercy Karogo, NEC Council members, senior officers of the Ministry of Education, representatives from teachers' unions, NAT, Kcpe, Kenya Private Schools Association, the Kenya National Parents Association, the Heads Association of Primary and Secondary Schools, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking God the Almighty for enabling us to hold this ceremony here today. I cannot take for granted His abundance, His gift of life, and His enormous blessings to our country and all of our citizens that has made it possible for us to sit here today and to celebrate the hard work of our 1,179,192 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education candidates. This looked like an imaginable thing to do just a few months ago. It is indeed a special moment for all of us, both in its timing and atmosphere. It is the first time that we are releasing these results in April. it is also the first time we are releasing the results when the country is busy managing the effects of the COVID-19 virus that is foreign to the whole world. When COVID-19 pandemic befell our beloved country in March of 2020, the education sector was completely disoriented. The future of our 15 million basic education learners seemed thrown deep into turmoil and confusion. We were simply at crossroads. Because we were fighting a disease which is confounded, even top-grade medics, my most humble self being one of them, did not know how long our schools would remain shut following the extended closure that was meant to help the country to manage the pandemic. Indeed, many people predicted doom and gloom for the education sector in this country. But after months of soul-searching and following extensive consultations with education sector stakeholders, we decided to bite the bullet by adopting a phased reopening of schools that gave priority to grade 4, standard 8, and Form 4 candidates. Although this selective reopening was informed by science and drew the advice of the Ministry of Health, there were those who castigated us from the move, claiming that we were putting the lives of our beloved children in jeopardy, making them guinea pigs, and what have you. My sector players stood firm and put their trust in the Almighty God, agreeing that we all stood to be damned for all the painful but necessary decisions, and that we were still going to be damned if we didn't do anything. We chose to make decisions for which we are prepared to take full responsibility for. Thanks be to the grace of God, our schools remained safe, allowing us to be here today to celebrate the results of our risky decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank His Excellency the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for his wise leadership, for trusting me and my education sector stakeholders. Over the challenging 1 year, His Excellency the President has given unfettered priority support to the education sector, always guiding and supporting us to ensure that the gains made in guaranteeing the bright future for the Kenyan children are not lost. I also want to thank Teacher Service Commission CEO Dr. Nancy Macharia for effective management of teachers who braved COVID-19 pandemic to return to schools, and former early learning and basic education principal secretary Dr. Richard Bello Kipsang. Not to forget the Parliamentary Committee on Education, originally led by someone else, but currently being led by Dr. Mutua, who is here. But they have given us breathing space and allowed us to do what we have to do without necessarily appearing for every appearance that is required. We have not taken it for granted, and we hope that that kind of cooperation will continue. But at this stage, I want to become personal and to recognize my dear wife and my son and his wife and our granddaughter, who have braved all my absence from them in the interest of the children of this country. I have not taken that for granted. I wish to commend the efforts of the entire government. I wish to commend the efforts of the entire government officers who work under multi-agency examination monitoring team, anchored on the firm leadership of my colleagues at the Ministry of Interior and Coordination, headed by my friend and colleague, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, and the CSICT, Joe Mucheru. And I cannot but remember the late General Kaiseri, with whom we delivered this baby together many years ago. May his soul rest in peace. As far as the opening school for the third term is concerned, as part of our efforts to recover the lost time following the long closure due to COVID-19 last year, we reorganized dates for schools in a manner that would help us recover lost time. As a result, we are scheduled to open schools for third term on the 10th of May for classes, all classes except for grade 4 and Form 1. But there is a catch. We are hopeful that we will open as scheduled, although we continue to monitor the trends of the COVID-19 situation and the school's preparedness to adhere to the ministry's health guidelines. And in this regard, I am going to direct all our officers in the field to immediately embark in the reinspection and strengthening of the COVID-19 protocols as soon as the examination period is completed next week on Wednesday, so that we prepare the schools as they have been in the past. This morning, His Excellency the President has directed that all teachers and support staff in our schools be allowed to take COVID-19 vaccinations as part of the measures to ensure that our schools are safe from the virus. At this same time, the ministry will immediately start preparations to mount Kcpe 2021 examinations. This means that as soon as we release these results, we are going to direct Kenya National Examination Council to start preparing tests that shall be administered later this year, flowing into early next year. So, performance of candidates in the 2020 Kcpe examination, many doomsday sayers predicted that candidates of 2020 Kcpe examinations will perform dismally. Shetani ashindwe. The good news, however, is that the performance of the candidates in the 2020 Kcpe examination is thoroughly commendable and has shown no remarkable difference from the performance in the past years. I wish once again to commend our dedicated teachers who worked very hard to prepare candidates for the examinations in the most difficult circumstances ever in our country. I also thank the government under His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for working with our development partners to avail Kenya shilling 1.1 billion COVID recovery fund, part of which enabled the Kenya National Examination Council to very quickly conduct an entry assessment test as soon as the children reopened. This assessment provided useful indicators to our teachers on the knowledge levels of the Standard 8 candidates once they resumed school. I wish to commend the teachers once again for utilizing the assessment results to prepare the candidates ahead of the examinations, a move that has led to the impressive results that we are celebrating here today. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we traversed the country during the monitoring exercise of the examination, and we came face to face with confident and cheerful children, all masked, who appear to have been very well prepared. This wonderful class has defied all the challenges they went through last year to post an impressive result in the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. The 100% transition to Form 1. Ladies and gentlemen, all the 1,179,192 candidates whose results we are releasing today shall be admitted to secondary schools under the government's 100% transition policy. I wish to assure the country that the ministry has already conducted an audit of all new and existing vacancies in all our private and public schools to enable us to admit all learners under the free day secondary school program. We are therefore determined to work with the relevant agencies to ensure that no candidate misses a place in secondary school. In the meantime, I urge all parents and guardians to take good care of our beloved children so that all of them are able to take up their Form 1 spaces in schools that they shall be admitted to. The Form 1 selection exercise. To ensure that all candidates are placed in schools of their choice based on performance and available vacancies, the Ministry of Education will employ a watertight system that will be both credible and of high integrity. The actual Form 1 selection exercise for all categories of schools will take place on the 28th of May of 2021. A LIMU scholarship. For the second year running, ladies and gentlemen, the government shall offer 9,000 scholarships under the LIMU scholarship program, which was initiated in 2019. You will recall that this program was extremely well executed by the ministry together with the CEO of Equity Bank, James Mwangi. Reports from all our public schools show that the 2019 candidates who benefited from the program are doing exceptionally well in schools where they were admitted. I wish to sincerely thank His Excellency the President for his intervention and letting us know that there are also many needy children who require scholarship in the informal settlements in urban areas, which were initially not covered under this program. Indeed, as my brother and friend Dr. James Mwangi starts the process, I shall also join once again because I enjoy working in the slums. May I also take this opportunity to thank Equity Bank Management, led by Dr. James Mwangi, for working with the ministry effectively to manage the scholarship program. The ministry will soon announce details of the process of applying for scholarship program, which is meant for candidates from needy and vulnerable households. So nobody should have any tricks. This is not a scholarship that you go through the back door to get. We shall interview you, and we shall inspect you, and we shall come into your house and see how you live. Because as you know, ladies and gentlemen, God was very kind. Intelligence was given equally to the rich, the moderately rich, and the poor. And this scholarship is supposed to be for the poor. Examination irregularities. In the administration of 2020 Kcpe examinations, the government sustained its robust security arrangements through the multi-sectoral examination monitoring team. These measures ensure that cases of irregularities during the sitting of examinations and during the marking processes were either stamped out or nipped in the bud before they could not happen. For example, 5 cases of impersonation were detected during this examination process, and 7 candidates were found with prepared notes in examination rooms. I am going to audit this because by orders of His Excellency the President, we had said they will not give results, but the President has pronounced himself that we shall release the results of all the candidates. We shall release the part of the results of all the candidates, but those staffers who allowed this to happen shall be severely punished. That is the variation to this speech. As you can see, the President is extremely magnanimous with children, and ours is to obey his order. Candidature details for the 2020 Kcpe I have noted we are here today releasing the results of 1,179,192 candidates who sat for the examination in 28,480 centers across the country. All these candidates, as I have said before, have qualified to join schools. I, on behalf of His Excellency the President and the entire government, congratulate them for their success. Of these, 590,450, which is 50%, were boys, and 588,742, which is 49.93, were girls. In 2019, ladies and gentlemen, 1,083,000 candidates sat for the examination. It means that candidates who sat increased by 95,000, which is 8.8%, which is higher than usual. And this is simply because of His Excellency's 100% transition policy, which empowered us to go to villages and everywhere in the country to get children who are at home and ensure that they are back in school. According to the data, the following 20 counties registered more female candidates than male candidates. And this is a worrying trend, because I must also defend the male child. The counties are Isiolo, Meru, Vihiga, Nairobi, Kwale, Elgeyo Marakwet, Siaya, Turkana, Kisii, Kisumu, Bungoma, Kilifi, Bomet, Mombasa, Uasin, Gishu, Makueni, and Migori. This is an increase from 18 counties that registered more females than male in the last examination circuit. And it may be time that we start treating children equally, not paying too much attention to the female child. The number of candidates who were absent were only compared to last year, which was 6,772, rose to 12,000, which is only 1%. And one would argue that the President's order to the chiefs and to the other people in the Ministry of Interior, together with our field officers, to follow the children home, enabled us to move all the children back to school. And so, if you consider 12,000 out of almost 1.2 million, it is statistically insignificant. Candidates' age profiles. Ladies and gentlemen, we consider any child who is 12 years and below as an underage. And in 2019, we had 20,000. In 2020, we have 26,000. So there was an increase of 2.2%. But the strangest thing is this. One would have expected that the underage children should be from the cities where the parents are well-to-do. But the majority of them came from West Pokot, which is 999, Bomet 1,595, Baringo 1,013, Kericho 1,069, and Bungoma 2,556. The highest number of candidates in this examination process were in the appropriate age group of 13 to 14 years and represented 806,720, representing 67.7%, a trend which has been replicated over the last 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the counties which had the highest number of cases who were over 19 years of age were Turkana with 3,052, Garissa with 1,680, Kwale with 2,441, Kilifi with 3,672, and Busia 1,692. Performance of the candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 2020 Kcpe examination, the overall performance improved compared to 2019. Although the mark for the highest candidate dropped from 440 to 443 in 2020, the mean average performance and quality of grades of all candidates is higher. For example, whereas 1,393 candidates scored between 1 and 99 marks in 2019, that number went down to only 307 candidates for the 2020 Kcpe examination. This was an indicator that most candidates scored better grades than the previous year. In particular, I'm impressed that public schools have shown in the 2020 Kcpe examination by scooping 10 out of 15 slots of the overall best 15 candidates. Additionally, the top 15 places, the female candidates have taken 8, including the first 3 overall slots. I will read a few of them because this will be given to the press. The first candidate, who is now the best candidate in the country for this year, is female Mumo Faith Kawi from Karimwailu. It's a public school and her score is 433. The second candidate is another female, Wesonga Yuvet Nanzala from Chogoria Girls with 432 marks. She's tied in that position with Muridhi Angel Gakenya, Maseno Girls Boarding School with 432 marks. The next one is Wanyonyi Samuel Mahanu, Nzoia Sugar Company with 431 marks. So those first 4 candidates are from the public school. Then there is Castro Williams from Crystal Hill Academy with 431 marks from a private school, and is tied up together with Tarus Chepkemboi Morin from St. Matthew's Septonok, the public school with 431 marks. The next one is Kipkurui Abiud from Lesos Hills Adventist with 430 marks. The next one is Mwangi Margaret Waruguru, Karatina DEB, very proudly a public school. The next one is Benis Chesed Omondi, Nairobi Primary School, which is just our neighbor here, tying with the 429 marks. Since you are clapping, I'll finish them. The next one is Kiogora Joyce Nkatha from Chogoria, the public school with 429 marks. The next one is Daniel Chris Mboya, Crystal Hill Academy, private with 428 marks, and all the others are tied with 428 marks. The next one tied is Njenga Lolwell Mwagambo, Emmanuel Springs Academy, which is private. The next one is Jeff Mutugi, Fred's Academy, 428 marks, private. Polycarp Kiondi Ombongi, Ober Boys, public, 428 marks. And the last of the 15, Deborah Zawadi, Emmanuel Springs Academy, 428 marks. Performance per subject. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that 5 papers recorded an improvement in the performance of 2020 as compared to 2019. They are English composition, Kiswahili Lugha, Kenya Sign Language Objective, mathematics, which is thoroughly encouraging, and of course religious education, which can be Muslim, Hindu, or Christian. 5 other subjects showed a drop compared to last year, 2019. English language, Kiswahili, Insha, Kenya Sign Language Composition, Science and Social Studies recorded a drop in performance. In terms of gender, female candidates performed slightly better than their male counterparts in English, Kiswahili, and Kenya Sign Language. Male candidates performed slightly better than their female candidates in mathematics, science, social studies, and religious education. I wish to commend all teachers, parents, candidates for this good performance achieved during a very difficult period. There is a timetable that I'm going to release to the press. I will not go through it, but I will say one or two things in terms of comparison, comparing 2020 to 2019. When we look at the candidates who have scored between 400 and 500, this year we have 8,091, which is 0.68%, as compared to 2019 where we had 9,600, which was 0.89%. But the earth-shaking information is when you come to 300 to 399, this year we have a staggering 282,000, representing 23.67%, compared with the 2019 when we had only 223,000. Even of greater importance, ladies and gentlemen, 200 to 299 has 589,000, representing close to 50%, which is thoroughly commendable. This table will be given to you, and I don't think I should go through all of it. Our candidates with special needs, the ministry and His Excellency the President remains totally committed to the dignity and total care of these children with special needs. And we assist them by adding them between 30 and 45 minutes when they are doing exams. The number of candidates with special needs this year, in the year 2020, was high, 2,675, when compared to 2019, when there were 2,407. The categories with the highest number of candidates with special needs in 2020 also are those with physical disabilities, which is 1,200, followed by those with hearing impairment and then seeing impairment. The highest SNE candidate is very competitive because the person scored 420 marks compared with the top candidate in 2019 who scored only 414. The improvement further underscores the fact that performance of 2020 was commendable and that SNE children, given a fair and conducive environment, can excel. Overall performance of SNE is as follows. 400 to 500, we had 9 of them. 300 to 399, we had 318. 200 to 299, we also had a larger number of 897, out of a total of 675, comparable to 2019. Now the list of SNE candidates, this was a request by His Excellency the President that we also read the list of the top 9 SNE candidates who scored above 400. And the first one is Brian Otundo from Set Green Hill Academy with 420. The second one is Kibet Gibson Ndiema, Malondo CBM, 411. The third one is Kioko Joseph Kialo, Kangundo DEB with 409. The fifth one is Isibwa Blessings Monica, Mukumu Girls, 409. Also jointly tied with 409 is Naomi Yvonne Omare, St. Luanga Njoro Catholic, 409. Number 6 is Joseph Muya Rita, Young Achievers School, 407. 7 is Frida Mahamud Shurie, Young Muslim Academy, 405. Number 8, Fidel Odera Ouma, Kari DB, 402. And finally, last but not least, Kaita Edgar Wilson, Lukuna School, Public, with 400 points. I particularly wish to mention a unique case of a candidate by the name Titus Musili from Kaunguni Primary School in Kitui County, whom I was informed had been sent home from school over flimsy grounds of going to look for lunch money. He ended up missing with the English composition paper. The government has intervened to ensure that justice has been given to this child, and the child will get his results along with the others. And I want to thank the media fraternity for ensuring that this detail was given to us on time. Assessing the 2021 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education results. Ladies and gentlemen, as is our tradition, Kcpe examination results will be collected by respective schools from sub-county education officers. Candidates should therefore collect their results from their respective examination centers. Individual candidates' results can also be assessed by sending candidate's index number followed by the initials Kcpe through a short message service, SMS, to 2006. Individual candidates' results can be accessed by sending candidate's index number followed by the initials Kcpe through a short message service to 20076. This service will be available immediately after this event. Head teachers will be required to download and print the online results slips for candidates in their schools and authenticate the same before they are released to the parents and guardians. His Excellency the President has directed that every child shall be and must be given his results. And if there are issues, the Ministry of Education headquarters is there. Let us deal with them. First of all, give the child the results, then come and tell us what the problem is. It is now my distinct pleasure to declare the 2020 Kcpe examination results officially released and wish the and wish and wish all the candidates success in their future endeavors. Let me say something about, we are still ongoing with the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, and that process will end on Wednesday next week. As far as teachers are concerned, we have made elaborate arrangements to ensure that those who are reporting next week to start marking the papers that had been completed earlier is done. And as you have heard, ours is to ensure that our teachers are as safe as possible in order to encourage them. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. There is no handshake this time. Hiyo mtu hiyo. Keleweki.
Thank you very much, the CS. I now wish to invite Madam Imelda Baraza to move a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony, our CS. Allow me at this point to move a vote of thanks, and I will begin off by thanking the Almighty God for having given us the grace and having given us life to have a successful administration of the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. So allow me to specifically thank you for the resilience you have shown when everybody had lost hope. You stood firm to say it will be done and it shall be done, and indeed it has been done. Can we give him a round of applause? Allow me, sir, to appreciate the Chief Administrative Secretary is present, the Principal Secretary is present, for having found time to be with us today. Sir, allow me also to mention the CEO Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia, for the support she has given us to ensure that the administration of examinations and the marking activity has gone on very well. For today's function, sir, allow me also to mention the Director General and also the senior officers from the Ministry of Education, together with the directors that have accompanied you to this function, sir. We really appreciate their presence and also the support that they have given. I would like to mention that the PS in person and the CS were with us to see that we are working, and they gave us the moral support. I would want to mention, sir, the CEO, Kenya National Examinations Council, Dr. Mercy Karogo, for the support and the encouragement and the commitment and the support that she has also given to the administration and the release of these results today. Allow me to also appreciate the presence of our council members for the support and also creating this occasion today and making it a success to be here. I'd also want to mention the presence of the chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Education, Dr. Florence Mutua, for finding time. Can we give her a round of applause, sir? Thank you. I'd want to mention also the media, and when they came in, they found that they gave us leadership, and we appreciate that you have been able to cover this function today and allow all our Kenyan citizens and world beyond to be part of this activity. Allow me, sir, to mention the next staff present for the support they have given and their presence here today. They are a committed staff, and we really appreciate their presence here. With that, may I also say, may God bless you as you travel to different directions. And I want to also congratulate the Kcpe candidates for the job well done. Thank you, sir, and we wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Imelda Baraza. She's talked of God blessing us. And at this juncture, I'm asking Ali Farah to close the meeting with a prayer. Ali Farah.
Thank you. CS Education, all protocol observed. I'll pray in Arabic and translate in English. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, to you alone we ask for help. Show us the straight path, the path of those whom you have favored, not of the path of those who earned your anger, nor those who went astray. Amen. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Asanteni sana na mbarikiwe.